Big companies like Apple definitely do a good job of making money. The tech giant recorded record revenue of $265 billion in 2019. But how do they spend their money? The answer is more complex than it may seem. Apple does a great job of spending money, too. They spent right around $205 billion in 2019, with operating costs making up 95% of that spending. But what are operating costs exactly? Well, a big part of Apple's immense spending comes from paying employee wages. Apple has increased their number of full-time workers by 9,000 in the 2018 fiscal year and again raised that total by another 5,000 in the 2019 fiscal year, making the grand total of full-time employees 137,000. This is one of the largest expenses that Apple has to pay. Of course, there are other things that rack up that massive $205 billion bill. One thing that Apple has been spending their cash on lately is research and development. In fact, Apple has spent more money on research and development in the 2019 fiscal year than ever before. Sales of the company's flagship smartphone, the iconic iPhone, have been down in the past few years. In order to stay relevant now and into the future, Apple is spending plenty of dough on developing new technology for use down the road. They might be working on something revolutionary, but only time will tell what the future holds for Apple's fleet of smart products. Part of why Apple spends so much money on research and development is so they can save money long into the future. Apple had previously been using Qualcomm processors for their iPhones, and now focus has shifted into development of their own processing chip. This will bring the cost of iPhone construction down because Apple won't have to worry about buying chips from other companies that are looking to make a quick buck. This goal of owning every piece of technology that Apple implements has come to be known as the Tim Cook Doctrine. Another example of this doctrine was Apple's development of their own proprietary Bluetooth chip. This chip has allowed Apple to further develop the wireless accessory market that is now synonymous with the brand. Some devices that came out of this Bluetooth chip development were things like the uber-popular AirPods, which have kind of taken the wireless earpiece market by storm. Of course, the AirPods aren't the only thing that have come from these developments. Apple has a bevy of wireless products that can be connected to the iPhone. These most notably include the Apple Watch and the Beats line of headphones. Also in the works for Apple are the Apple Glasses, which are sure to set the technology world ablaze whenever they end up being released. Another thing to look at is Apple's purchase of Intel's modem division, which came with 2,000 employees. This was Apple's largest ever acquisition from an employee perspective. The purchase of this company will probably be used to further the connectivity between Apple devices by way of a smart router similar to Google's Nest smart routers. Apple isn't just satisfied with phones and other entertainment devices. They'd like you to own an Apple car someday too. Well, they actually want to put a self-driving brain into your existing car, to put it bluntly. Much of their R&D money has gone into Project Titan, which is an autonomous car driving software. This development will be very difficult for Apple and will likely take many years to complete. Apple CEO Tim Cook has called it the mother of all artificial intelligence projects, and for good reason. Apple has been working with manufacturers of LiDAR equipment to create a less bulky, more mass-producible sensor device for the vehicles, which should help with future adoption of the project. There's a huge market for this kind of software, and Apple intends to make it a big part of their future by giving the software deep connectivity with iOS. This could lead to the software being able to control everything about your car, from seat position to cabin temperature and radio controls, all from either your iPhone or using voice recognition software. Another massive part of Apple's spending is their advertising budget. This is where Apple really stands out from other big companies. Most aren't as confident in their branding as Apple is. Apple has never been afraid to spend massive amounts of dough on marketing, and in doing so, they've created one of the most recognizable brands across the globe. Apple's marketing has been incredibly successful for the company, with their many ad campaigns and logos being instantly recognizable, going all the way back to their original rainbow-colored Apple logo, which was a genius design in and of itself. The Apple logo has seen very little change throughout the years, minus the removal of the colorful stripes of the original. No other technology company has been this comfortable in their branding, which has been a huge boon for Apple. Everyone knows their logo, so they can focus more of their advertising budget on commercials than on constantly redesigning their emblem over and over again. This commitment to advertising started all the way back in the year 1984, when Apple released an ad during the Super Bowl titled, you guessed it, 1984. The title of this ad referenced the George Orwell book of the same name and is considered to be one of the greatest TV commercials ever made. The ad, directed by Ridley Scott, was made to show how Apple's newest creation, the Macintosh home computer, was going to stand out above the rest. Even though the commercial only aired one time, it was a massive success. Apple went on to sell over 75,000 Macintosh computers in the first 100 days after their release, which was more than double the expected amount. The ad solidified Apple's commitment to a lofty advertising budget, which has continued to work out for the tech giant. Apple decided that the best course of action for these advertisements was to spend money on big-name celebrities to help make the ads memorable. This certainly paid off, and some of the company's most memorable creations come from the use of celebrities to help sell Apple products. Celebrities like Spike Lee, Tom Cruise, and Hunter S. Thompson appeared in these ads, which helped Apple catch people's attention. The use of celebrities in their advertising peaked in 1997 with the launch of their Think Different campaign, which used the likenesses of people like Gandhi, Albert Einstein, and Martin Luther King to symbolize Apple's commitment to thinking outside the box, just like those massively influential people. The Think Different campaign is widely viewed as the most successful ad campaign ever, ushering in the second Steve Jobs era of the company, which was its most successful. After these ads came some of the most memorable ads for those of us that grew up in the 2000s. The first of these were the iconic Silhouette ads that showed people dancing to music being played on their newly released iPods. This campaign was very successful and went on for a total of 4 years from 2003 to 2007. The Silhouette ads helped the iPod to become one of the most ubiquitous devices of the 2000s, inspiring many knockoffs and even official spin-offs of the product like the iPod Nano and the iPod Touch. Another memorable campaign for Apple during the 2000s was the Get a Mac campaign, which was seemingly played non-stop after its 2006 release. These iconic ads pitted Mac against PC, making Windows-based computers look outdated and nerdy compared to the more modernized Mac computers. From 2006 to 2010, there were 66 of these Get a Mac ads played on television. The campaign was an incredible success for Apple, who saw sales of their home computers increase 12% after the first ad, and a whopping 39% in the first quarter of 2006. The success of Apple's many advertising campaigns has led to the company investing billions of dollars into their marketing budget, which has turned Apple from just another technology brand into an instantly recognizable powerhouse whose name and logo are burned into the brains of anyone who hasn't been living under a rock for the last 30 or so years. What are your thoughts on how this extremely successful company actually spends their money? Let us know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We would really appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one.